Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette. I'm joined now by Jane Betcher and Sangavi Subramani of the Merry Tutor. So welcome to the set.
Thank you for having us.
We're excited. We're welcoming you back because we did talk to you last year, but you know, lots has changed since then. So tell us a little bit about the Merry Tutor and what's new and what's going on.
Sure. So the Merry Tutor is a nonprofit organization, and we provide free tutoring to K through 12 students, and our tutors are high school students that volunteer. And in the past few years, we've been able to grow from a very small organization. We started with 8 tutors to over 125.
Wow.
So it's been really great this year especially. We've gotten a board that has specific roles, and we've been able to do a lot of projects outside of tutoring. So last year we were able to do a book drive for schools in Baton Rouge, and we collected over 7,000 books.
Wow, that's a lot of books.
Yeah, which was really exciting. And I was really pleasantly surprised by the amount of community support we got from that. We had schools donating, libraries donating, community members donating, and we actually had 2 shipping companies that helped us move the books from here to Baton Rouge, ML International Expo, and Hassett Express. So
nice. Now, why Baton Rouge?
So Baton Rouge was just hit with flooding, and a lot of the schools, I had heard on the radio, we did not have the school supplies to be able to learn. And I know that reading has always been a really big part of how I learned, and I wanted to make sure that these students were getting these books and were able to get back on track as soon as possible. And I think that went really well with our organization and what we do. We help tutor, and reading is a big part of a lot of the tutoring we do. So that's one of the big things we did. We also, for the past few years, we've been working on a book.
Okay.
And it's basically, it serves as a 2T workbook, but also a guide for tutors to help in the tutoring session. I know that for me, it's always really nice to have materials, but I know that also in many of the areas that we're trying to start tutoring, and they might not have these resources on hand. So one of the things that we were trying to do is self-publish this book written by tutors on specific things that we've discovered are really important for this book in particular is about 5th grade math.
Okay, I love the title, A Merry Tutor's Guide to Teaching Common Core Math. I could probably use that.
So it's really, really nice, and I loved working with my fellow tutors to write this. This is completely tutor authored. We have all the authors in the back. So one of our tutors graphically designed it. So I thought that was a really amazing project to be able to do, and it was made possible by a grant from the Naperville Education Foundation.
That's wonderful.
So really
That's wonderful. Sangavi, talk to us a little bit because you're the tutor manager. So what's that mean? What's your role?
Okay, so as tutor manager, I'm in charge of tracking hours for our tutors and making sure they're basically doing what they're supposed to be, which is basically acting appropriately around our 2Ts and filling out session records. And session records are basically a way for our tutors to fill out what they worked on with the 2T. And our data manager, Benji Khan, he sends these session records out to the parents so they have an idea of what their child worked on. So it kind of gives them feedback as to how the child can progress and kind of take next steps as to how they can improve upon if they were working on reading or math or science or whatever they worked on, just like a general idea of how they can improve upon their skills.
I think the interesting thing here is not only are you providing such a great service to the kids that you're tutoring, but you're really learning some great leadership skills as the organization. You mentioned, Jane, that you've added a board, and I know, Sangavi, you're part of that. Talk a little bit about that board and that experience.
I feel like last April I got onto the board, right? And I knew a couple of the people beforehand, but I didn't really know everyone. But over the course of this past year, it's been really amazing getting to know the others personally and professionally, because they're such cool people, and it's always so interesting to meet new people, like what their interests are and what you might share. It's always so cool to see the similarities between you and another person. And specifically, my experience as a tutor has been so amazing, because I remember this one time, I usually tutor at the Live Center, so usually younger kids come to us, and I was tutoring her in math, and then I could just see when I was tutoring her, she was really happy, and she actually understood it, and it just made me happy that she was happy, because she can actually understand what she's learning, and she's not confused anymore. And at the Alive Center, there's an art room. So we went into the art room and we were just making art. And then at the end, she hands me this like poster that says, "Thank you for teaching me." And I felt so happy because like I know I had made a difference in that girl's life. And I still have that poster on my my nightstand table, like right next to my bed. So like every morning I wake up, it's like right there. It kind of reminds me of like why I do this. It's kind of like to make people like happy about learning and like willing to learn more, if that makes sense. Yeah.
That's terrific. That's so nice. And that really helps motivate you to want to keep doing it. Jane, you're a senior, which I can't believe you're already a senior, but you are. So let's talk a little bit, because you founded this. What's going to happen when you graduate?
So when I started this, one of the biggest things that I wanted is I wanted something that's going to last. And so everything that I've put in place so far has been able to set up so that Naperville in particular is going to last for a very long time. We have a board, and so they have roles that are specifically oriented towards how do we run this organization on our own. It's self-sustainable. But one of the biggest things that I hope will happen is to have this as a fixture in every single community. This is obviously a really big dream, but that is the intent behind our organization. So when I go to college, that's something that I want to continue to do and reach out to more communities and set up programs that are modeled based off of our one right here at home. So that's something that I want to continue to do then into college.
Well, that's a big dream, and I think it's certainly something that with your inspiration, I think that's very possible, right? Sangavi, as we're wrapping up here a little bit, talk about the leadership, because Jane has been driving the organization. You talked about the board. How do you see that leadership playing out going forward?
Okay, so for this year, we have actually like 3 positions opening up because the seniors are graduating, and we feel that these positions are best occupied by underclassmen, especially since we feel that getting the underclassmen like leadership opportunities is the best way to prepare them to become leaders in the future, because in any environment, like any given environment, it's very important to have the skills needed to be a leader, because there's always going to be a need for a leader, and being able to provide kids our age the leadership opportunities for that is just pretty amazing. So
that's terrific. I think obviously, Jane, you launched an awesome organization, and I think Sangavi, with your help, it's going to be in good hands as you guys continue to move forward, and I wish all the best to the Merry Tutor going forward. If you would like to learn more about the opportunities for giving and receiving tutoring through the Merry Tutor, please visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.